Hello, welcome to the very first episode of the Raw Truths podcast. I'm Bailey, I will be your host. I will be talking most of the time, kind of. So I really hope you like my voice. Yeah. Some of you have been waiting for this for a little while, and some of you only just found out about it. So for the people that have been waiting, I promise it's worth it. Just trust. This episode is just going to show you the vision of what I'm hoping to just put out there and share with the world. Um, I'll give you I'll give you a little bit of a background of, why I'm here, why I'm sitting in this chair, why I'm speaking. God's been really putting this on my heart to just talk and share transformations in people's lives. Um, there's just such power in a testimony, and I feel like, you know, sometimes the transformation of people's lives aren't talked about enough. And yeah, I've just felt for a while deep in my heart to just share it on a platform, and what better way to do it than a podcast? So, yeah, this is a very exciting time. I am creating a space for people to share and be vulnerable and to just talk, yeah, on how Jesus has saved them. And this is also a really safe space for the interviewees that will be coming on and you guys, the listeners. So, yes, very safe space, very open, very raw. There's going to be a lot of talk on, yeah, just how Jesus has truly transformed lives. Now, episodes will be coming out monthly, so once a month. It will be on the last Saturday of every month. It's just the easiest way to do it, and that way it's, yeah, definitely at the end of every month. The episodes will also come out at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Um, yeah, exciting. It will be on YouTube and Spotify. So whichever one you feel like going to, watch it on whatever you want. So in this episode, I will actually be talking about my story, and how Jesus transformed my life. I am going to be putting pictures up, as I talk, just to give you guys a little bit more of a visual. So if you're watching through the video, yeah, expect to see some pictures coming through as I speak my story. Just a little heads up, there is going to be some touchy subjects in my story. So if something pops up that you don't feel comfortable listening to, you're more than welcome to just skip forward and skip past that. All right, where do I even start? So, okay, I was born. Nah. Yeah, I was born, but I'm just gonna like fast forward. Before I get into my story, I am going to just share whether I knew Jesus or not. Before I got saved, I did. I did grow up hearing the word Jesus and hearing who he was. I never knew who he truly was though. Like, um, my grandma, she was the definition of a mighty woman of God, and she would constantly talk about Jesus and tell us about who he is, and would take us to church sometimes. Like, I even remember my mum, she took us to church like a couple of times when we were young. So Jesus was there, but like I said, I never encountered him. I didn't really know him. Um, I believed in God, but also I didn't at the same time, if that makes sense. Sadly, my grandma passed away just over a year ago. Um, yeah. She would have loved this, by the way. She would have been like over the moon that I was doing this. All right, straight into the story. So, when I was 8 years old, my parents got divorced. As that does for anybody, it just rocks someone's world and turns it upside down. Um, I personally didn't take it very well. It was really hard on me. It was hard on everyone. It was a very tough time. There was like there was a lot that happened in my childhood that I won't talk about just for privacy reasons. Um, but I will just say that I was exposed to things at a very young age that I shouldn't have been exposed to. All right, because I'm not going to speak too much on that area of my life, I am going to fast forward to high school. So, just started high school and I had the worst time in high school. I was bullied really bad and targeted. I was ganged up on a few times and I was bashed. Life was not great. It just brought my confidence down, down, down. And I did not feel good about myself. I was in constant anxiety and fear. People were threatening to come to my house and kill me. And I lived literally down the road from high school. So literally people knew where I lived. They'd just follow me home. But yeah, I just felt like I was in constant fear and I never had time to just stop thinking. Especially with everything that I went through in my childhood and then this, I just felt like I was always on the go and I didn't know how to regulate my feelings at all. I had no clue whatsoever. I started getting a little bit depressed and all of this led to I started chroming at the age of 12 years old. I heard about it from someone else. Yeah, they were talking about it and I went home to go try it. Um to try and stop me from feeling. Like, at 12 years old, I want to stop feeling. I want to feel numb. So, yeah, I started chroming really bad. Um, I had an addiction to that, and I would do it to the point where I couldn't breathe because I didn't want to live and I didn't know how to end my life. I'd searched up on Google and nothing would come up but help numbers. And like yeah, I was just trying to stop myself from breathing, and there was one night where I actually I passed out and only woke up because someone was knocking really loud. And yeah, I just fell face first and hit my head really bad on tiles. And the other thing that I would experience when I would chrome is I would hallucinate really bad. And hallucinate things that weren't there. Um, it was like this whole other world. I just people were after me and attacking me, and I thought it was literally happening, and I'd be screaming, I'll be crying. But yes, I was really struggling with addiction with that and wanting to numb myself and just not wanting to feel. So I was in that school until year 9. COVID then happened, and you know, as we all know, COVID, it was this massive lockdown, can't go outside kind of vibe, rah rah rah. can't do your normal day-to-day things, and we had to do school online. But this is where I got very, very depressed, and I would stay in bed. I was basically in bed the whole time, and I refused to do any schoolwork. I was like, nah, not doing it. I put it to the side, and I just laid there. As it was for a lot of people, it was a very hard time. Like, you're stuck inside, you can't do anything, you're restricted. At the end of the lockdown, I did ask my parents if I could change schools, and they said yes. And I went to this new school for year 10 and loved it, had a great time. But when I got to the end of year 10, I just decided I didn't want to be in school. I just lost the passion for it. But towards the end of my school year of year 10, I started rebelling at home, running away, going to go drinking, um, just being angry with my parents, just being an angry person. And I hated everything. Genuinely. I did not like anything. This all led to me trying to end my life for the first time. Um, I tried to overdose, and yeah, I was 15. Crazy stuff. So, around this time, I left school at the end of the year, and I went straight into hairdressing full time at the age of 15. As some of you might know, hairdressing, the environment is like party party. Not all places is like that, but where I was, that was the vibe. Around this time as well, I started hurting myself, um, like harming myself. I couldn't control my emotions, so whenever I felt something, I just took it out on myself. Um, and I was asking for help and trying to seek it, and was seeing a therapist and tried all these different medications, but like nothing was working, and it made me feel worse being on medication. Um, so this is where I started getting even more depressed, and yeah, it was just a horrible time. And this is when I started to realize I have PTSD from childhood trauma, from things that happened. And it I was getting triggered quite a lot. And so yeah, I was not handling anything the right way. I was just filled up with anger. I was filled up with sadness. I was just filled up with loneliness, even though I had people around me, like my family. But I felt like I was so alone in this world, and I felt like I had no one. And I just, I felt like this vase just on the side of like a table, just waiting to be knocked over and just break. Like, I just felt like I had no future. I didn't see anything in my future. I didn't want anything. I didn't even know who I was. And yeah, I started getting more suicidal and started trying to end my life more. I went to hospital a few times. My dad took me quite a bit. Thanks, Dad. I would have episodes where I was screaming and just, it wasn't me. After everything I tried and everything I did, I'm just like beyond grateful that I'm still here. and able to share this story with you guys. Now we're going to talk about when I turned 16, I started just sleeping around, like, had no self-respect for my body or for myself, and I guess I was just trying to find validation in men, and it didn't work, obviously, because I kept going from man to man to man, and I'm not proud of it, but God's taken away my shame and He's given me a new heart and a new start. So I don't ponder on that anymore. I don't think about it. So I turned 17. I'm still drinking, I'm partying, I'm sleeping around, and I start experimenting with drugs, party drugs. And yeah, so I was just doing whatever to just numb my brain. At the age of 18, I started clubbing. I would go out every weekend or whenever I had free time. I was just constantly getting drunk to the point where I couldn't walk. I didn't know what was happening, didn't know where I was. Like, I would wake up the next day not remembering half the night, or I'd wake up in hospital. And I was also vaping and smoking, and I was just honestly using anything to just make me feel better. And looking back at it now, it was not helping me at all. It was actually making me worse. So I then decide it is a great idea to join this platform online and share exposed pictures and videos of myself for money. This is very vulnerable of me to share this with you right now, because I was always scared that people would look at me different. So I was trying to keep this story away from people and just telling the rest. But you know what? This is all to just show you how God has truly transformed my life. So I'm being open with that. That story will be important soon. So just remember what I just said, and we will circle back to that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I came to know Jesus, truly know Him. Before work, every day when I was hairdressing full time, um, I had a barista, and she was so much fun. She was the best, and we started to become friends. I followed her on Instagram, and then I see this photo of a stage on her story, and I was like, is that church? So I asked her, I was like, hey, do you go to church? Weird question. And she's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, can I come with you? I don't know what came over me. I just felt this pulling towards church. And so that next Sunday, I went to church with my friend, and we're still friends now. She's a really good friend of mine. Yeah, so I went to church, and I walk in and I just felt this, like, a feeling I've never felt before. I was like, everyone was just happy to be there. And I'm normally surrounding myself with people who are like down in the dumps or drunk or high or angry with life. And I was like taken back already. I was like, I actually like this place. I like whatever this feeling is. Um, Anyways, we went into the service and there's music, we're clapping, I'm not dancing yet. I have no confidence yet to do anything. I'm like, people are looking at me. They're not. I could have got up and just started dancing and let that feeling out, but I just stood there because I was like, I was honestly soaking it up. I was having the best time. Um, anyways, during the service, I just kept feeling this feeling I never felt before. And I didn't know what it was. And then they did an altar call where they got everyone to bow their heads, close their eyes, and they were like, if anyone in this room wants to know Jesus or have a relationship with him, on the count of three, I want you to raise your hand. And I have no idea what came over me. And they were like, one, two, three. And I like shot my hand up so high. I'm actually like getting teary, like just thinking about this because the feeling I felt in that moment, I just felt like this warmth all over my body, like this adrenaline to just put my hand up. And I just said, yes, I want to know him. I want to know Jesus. And if you knew me then, that was a big thing for me to do that. Um, and be bold. And then they got us to come to the front to be prayed over. And, you know, once again, not like me to be vulnerable like that in front of people. But I did, and I do not regret it. It was the best night of my life being saved and walking in freedom. Like, as I walked out of that place, I I I was already a different woman in a way. I walked out not wanting to show my body online anymore. I went home and I got rid of what I was doing and I chose Jesus. I was making a lot of money and loving it. I am kind of making it my lifestyle. And so I turned down all this money and that was my first yes to Jesus. And I just that was a big thing for me. After that after that I just kept coming. I was like I would miss a few Sundays, but I also had no license. I was like Ubering there. I was like finding my way to church. So, not long after I got saved, I went out on a night out and went to this bar on the river. And I got triggered really bad. And I just flipped and walked away from all my friends. I saw this bridge and this voice inside of me was like, jump. Like, I don't want to live anymore. So, I just go to this bridge and I go on the other side of it and I'm literally about to jump and this man grabs my arm. This is so hard to talk about. I was just screaming at him like, let me go, let me go. I just want to die. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be alive. Like, jumped on me to like stop me from moving because I was like so fueled up to just jump. So there's a few people holding me down and calling the police. I got cuffed to be taken to the hospital and I got put on a psych hold. Like, I feel like I just let my family down and I feel like I let myself down. And it was this weird feeling because I was like, you know, I love Jesus. Like, why did I want to do this? Why did I. It happens. Even after you've been saved, it's okay to fall short sometimes in your walk and in your journey with Christ. It's okay. But I was so ashamed. I was like, oh, I'm like a Christian now, and I can't do that, and I can't tell. I told no one because I was so ashamed of myself. But I was like, I need help, so I went to a therapist, and she actually recommended this therapy that would actually remove the feelings from my brain. So, like, whenever I would think about a situation, like, I don't remember it that way. It's like, I forgot what it's called. EDM therapy? No, I don't know. But that was, I nearly went through with that because I was like, I'm so sick of being triggered. I'm so sick of having this trauma, and I'm so sick of just feeling like this shell, but just being broken constantly. I started going back to church more frequently. Like, I feel like for a moment there, I was missing a few Sundays. When I started going back, and when I started going back, I realized the importance of just being in a community, being surrounded by good people, and being in God's presence. Like, there's nothing better. And I started finding who I was through that. And all of a sudden, I just started getting these like revelations that I was not reading the Bible at all. Like, I refused. I was like, I don't need to read the Bible. Um this is when I first came to church, but and I randomly was like, I'm going to wait till marriage now. Like, I'm not going to sleep with anyone. I'm going to save this for my husband now. I want to do it the right way now. And I was like telling my family, and they were like, Bailey, TMI. TMI. Too much information. But I had this weird feeling. I was like so proud of myself, and I was like, I don't know where this came from, but I'm gonna do it. So I stuck to that, and I later realized it's in the Bible. Yeah, I didn't hear it get preached or anything. It was just, I guess God revealed it to me. And then I went to this class in church where it ran once a week. In that class, I encountered Jesus like I never have before. We were in worship in this class, and I had my hands out like this, and we just went through trauma, generational hurts and patterns. Um, and yeah, just stopping the cycle. Um, so that was a really big one for me to get over all of that and confront it in a spiritual way as well. I was doing this in therapy, but this felt so different. And yeah, so we just went through all of that, and I let some things out, and I worked some things out, and I was just standing there. Someone came over to pray for me, the leader, and she was like, Lord, I just pray that um, you just hug her right now. And then she was saying that, he wants you to come to him with a childlike faith. He wants to heal you of your childhood. She walked away, and I felt this really warm hand just right here. And I was like, eyes closed still. And it was just like such a comforting feeling. And I was waiting for this person to pray because it felt like someone was like holding on to me. And I opened my eyes and no one was there. And I was like, wow. In that moment, I was like, Jesus? What? And my heart was on fire. And I was just there crying and sitting in his presence and taking it all in. I actually came out of that class healed of all of my trauma. Like, from that moment, I never got triggered again. And it was just the most healing, miraculous moment in my life, still to this day. Not long after that, I was like, I'm not drinking ever again. I don't want to. Yeah, not for me. And since then, still haven't drunk anything, and I don't plan to. I don't want to touch that ever again in my life. And it's truly just something that was, convicting me and a big struggle of mine. So, yeah, since doing that, it's just been amazing. And then last year, I actually decided to get baptized, and make a public declaration that, Jesus is my Lord. All of this shame has just washed away, and I'm new, and all my past, everything that I just spoke about, washed away. So I'm living in this new life, living in this new heart, and God is just still transforming me to this day. This year, I actually started Bible college. Um, Amazing. It's been awesome. I've found my calling in life. I've found my purpose, and God's been speaking to me on certain things, and I'm just getting stretched and grown in ways that I didn't think I would. Honestly, if you told me like 3 years ago, Bailey, you're going to be baptized and then you're going to go to Bible college and you're not drinking, you're not doing any of that, I would call you crazy. Genuinely. Um, yeah, honestly, God's just transformed my life into who I was meant to be this whole time. One thing I noticed in my pictures is before Jesus, like before I met Jesus and knew who he was, and before I was saved, my eyes, they literally looked like nothing was going on. They looked sad, they looked anxious, there was nothing going on behind those eyes. And then now, this is one thing I love about myself, and I'm just gonna go and say that, is the way that my eyes smile now. Like, I feel like whenever I smile and laugh, or even if I'm not smiling, I just find my eyes are like smiling. Um, so I love how, God's just transformed me into this feminine, genuine woman of God. These photos don't lie. Like, you can see the change. You can see who I was before, and what I've told you guys is all completely true, and this is coming from the bottom of my heart, being vulnerable and sharing my story to bring awareness to people who are going through the same thing as well. Like, if you're struggling with a similar thing that I've spoken about, just know that you're not alone and you actually do have a purpose in life. There is so much more than you think. Like, I honestly, if I did not get saved, I don't think I would be here today talking to you right now in this seat. I don't even think I would be alive. So And I just really want to stir you. If you've got a powerful story, you got a powerful testimony, a powerful transformation, tell someone. It honestly is encouraging, and that's just what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to spread the love. I'm just trying to show you guys what Jesus is capable of and who he is by showing you transformational lives. If you are listening to this and you're like, I don't know Jesus, but I want to know him, who's this Jesus that Bailey keeps talking about? Um, or if you're going through a similar thing and you're like, I've been lost and I have no one and I want to know him, please, there is a link below that I have found. Click on it. There is information on who Jesus is and what he's done, and also has a prayer on there if you do want to say yes to Jesus. Say yes to him being your Lord and Savior. If you read that prayer, if you're reading it alone, just know that you're not alone. All of heaven is actually rejoicing with you as you pray that prayer. Or if you're watching it with friends or family, then that's amazing. But yeah, just know that heaven is celebrating and rejoicing, and there is a party going on. On the other hand, I am proud of you if you have done that and made that declaration to yourself and to Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really glad that you're here and supporting me and listening to my story. I just truly hope that someone was impacted today, listening to this, and just, that it sparks hope into people's lives. But yeah, thank you again. See you next month. Bye.